Have you heard the term fetal programming? It is a much more used term in the industry nowadays, and that is because it has a direct impact in how you are maximizing your genetics, if you are or if you aren't. Because when we're talking about fetal programming, it really comes down to what your management practices are in your nutrition program as well. They tie hand in hand with how you can develop your animal the best as possible. So one thing to think about is when we're talking about fetal programming, we're talking about the development of the calf from day one, the day that that cow was conceived to the day that that cow calves out. Because when we are pushing nutrition, the highest quality nutrition we can to that calf, we are building a stronger, more efficient producing calf. The organs will be stronger. Everything will produce more efficiently. So when we're talking about this, you got to be thinking of day one, cow's bred. How is that calf going to perform when it's 6 months old, say? The better we can set that calf up now at day one and so on, the better it's going to perform, the better the organs will perform, the more efficient that animal will be, the better it's going to have a direct impact on your bottom line because of how that animal's performing. Now, some ranchers actually don't even think about what the calf needs until it's on the ground and they can physically see the calf. Some ranchers will wait until the third trimester thinking, well, if I focus on the nutrition plan of that cow now, it will be able to push some stuff to the calf and the calf will be all right, which is somewhat true. Sure, it's going to help fill that mineral bucket, which you've heard us talk many times about. But when we're talking about fetal programming itself, there is no 1 month or one trimester that is better or worse or one that I'd pick to slough on nutrition-wise. Absolutely not. They're absolutely all important from day one to the calving. Because when you look at that fetus, within 30 days, you can detect a heartbeat already. And actually with ultrasound, you can detect a heartbeat within 20 to 22 days. That's incredible. That's 3 to 4 weeks old. A heart is built and strong enough, or building and strong enough to detect a heartbeat. Other organs are developing. Extremities are starting to develop. And actually by 9 weeks, it's already 3 inches long. That's amazing. So much is being developed so early that if you skimp there or you slough there and you're not really, having high standards for that nutrition plan right there, what happens if all of the organs now are on the deficient side or weaker? Then they're not going to perform to the best of their ability when that calf is on the ground or 6 months or, if it's, say it's a breeding heifer, you plant a breeder and at 2 years old, it all is affected now. Is my point, is what I'm trying to say, is that the better we can push high quality nutrition to them, the stronger, more efficient the organs will be. Now, this is 9 weeks, and by 3 months, we're starting to see the digestive system developing, and you can actually identify all 4 stomachs. And this is going to be roughly 14 centimeters long, which is the size of an average cucumber. But if we're going to compare these two, from 9 weeks to 3 months, how much growth is there? That's incredible. That happens so quickly. Now imagine, envision that calf and the amount that's going into those organs, the amount the organs are growing. This is what's going to help determine that efficiency of how that animal lives. I mean, if the immune system, how does that handle things? All of that, it all takes a part. If we're talking about wanting the animals the calves to convert efficiently, well, that starts in the rumen. So the digestive system and the stomach needs to be built strong. It needs to start out with good nutrition. Because now if we take, this is at 3 months, this was the stomach, the size of the calf, the stomach was being developed, and we look at 6 months. That's about 1.5 foot now that calf would measure out. And you take the length there, you can see the difference there. It's incredible how fast it really happens. 9 months seems like a long time, but it happens incredibly fast. Now, 6 months, 1.5 feet long, roughly. Obviously, genetics and breed and everything take part in all this too, but we go from there and we're going into the 3rd trimester now. And like we've said before, the 3rd trimester is 70% of that growth is happening with that calf, excuse me. But with that being said, it's not necessarily 70% of the development of the calf. It's the weight gain, it's maybe more to the extremities, but the actual development of the calf, the stomach, the organs, that's long already started. So going from the 3rd trimester, we're wrapping up, and now we're into month 9. That calf is roughly 3 feet long. So I grabbed a guitar to kind of show that difference. So the animal absolutely does grow quite fast in this whole process, was definitely in the 3rd trimester. But the point in bringing that part up is that, again, nobody can pick 1 month or 1 trimester out of the entire pregnancy that would be an okay one to slough on, because so much critical development is happening from the day that that cow conceives to the end. So if you are a cow-calf operation and you're breeding with intent, meaning you are breeding with a goal in mind, whether that's to keep the animals back for breeding stock, or you're selling the bulls or heifers for breeding stock, maybe you're gonna send them to the feedlot and feed them out as, for steaks, whatever the goal is, it all starts the day that that cow conceived. If we are looking to amplify the genetics and how we're building our operations, we have to start at day 1 to have the best impact. So be sure that you sit down, think about what it is the goal is that you're after, and that can change on a year-to-year basis. That's fine. But know what it is, understand what it is, and be sure that you have a high standard for your nutrition program through the entire pregnancy, because that is going to have a direct correlation and impact on the efficiency and production of your calf crops going forward, and ultimately your bottom line.